So much like the base coat, we're going to be using a Venetian plastering trowel for the application of the decorative coat. In particular, we'll be using the 240mm one. You'll probably notice that these are smaller than what we use for the base coat. Although we are going to be a bit slower, we want to have more control over the material. We're trying to achieve an artistic finish, and it's important that we're able to apply pressure in the right places. The plastic-based white trowel can also be used to achieve a different effect. We'll look at it in more detail later on in the video, but just keep it in mind, it's possible to achieve different finishes depending on the tool that's used. Once you've got your tool sorted, we can start to have a look at mixing our materials. We're going to be working with our standard kit size of 10 square meters. For this, you're going to receive two items for the decorative coat. The first one is a 15 kilo bucket of the plaster, which will come in the color that's been selected. In this case, we're using Bermuda. You'll also receive a 5 kilo bag of powder, which must be added to the Deco A in order to prepare the material for application. The ratio that we want to mix at is 3:1. If we know this ratio, we're able to prepare exactly the amount of material we need every time. We're going to prepare around half of the material for this part of the project because the area we're doing is quite small and we should be able to finish it within the hour. If you are going to be working with micro cement often, we would recommend having a set of weighing scales. They're very useful when mixing part components that require specific ratios. These don't have to be expensive. A set of scales that can go up to 6 kilos with a gram of tolerance are usually enough. These will also be very useful when it comes to doing the protective coats. If there are two or more people working on the project, we recommend that one mixes the material as the other one adds the powder. This helps to reduce any dust that gets thrown up into the air. We recommend that you mix it for around 3 minutes and the material will stay good for about 2 hours after you've mixed it. If you're doing two coats, remember it's best to leave half of the material for the second coat and mix it later. You can also add 5% of water to the mixture if you find that it's a bit difficult to work with. We don't recommend going above that. Once the material is mixed, if you have any dry bits on the edge of the bucket, they can be removed and used for the first coat. We recommend that throughout the application you keep the edges of the bucket clean so no more material dries on the sides. This will make it especially difficult on the second coat, where it will be quite visible if you use any dry material. Venetian plastering spatulas are very useful for this type of application. They're essentially very small trowels. They're flexible and can reach difficult areas. This makes them an excellent choice when doing the edges or going right up to the interior corners. You'll find that a combination of spatulas and interior and exterior corner trowels are very good for doing small fiddly areas. Our first coat of deco will generally dry up within 3 to 5 hours. Once this is finished, we can move on to our second coat. Now, as you applied the first coat, did you get a lot of material over the tape? If you did, we'd probably recommend removing the tape and retaping before we start off with the second coat. Once our material is mixed, we can move forward with our application. As mentioned before, there's two ways you can go about it. A stainless steel trowel, such as the one being used here, will discolor the plaster as pressure is applied. Most people tend to like this effect. It's very deliberate and it looks more natural. It should look something like
Please like, save, and subscribe, or I'll have to eat you. Thank you for watching.